welcome to Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Gotta get the name right. Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Here we are. We're about to start the wildlife drive. So I'm actually right here. So the visitor center is over here, driven in. Then we're gonna take this trail. It's about a 12-mile drive all the way around and see where we end up. So out here in Rocky Mountain Arsenal Wildlife Refuge, National Wildlife Refuge. Man, I gotta get that name right. The old 4Runner has a little bit of a crack on the windshield. Gonna have to fix that at some point, but I think I'll wait till winter is over. Today is actually March 1st, so in Colorado, winter is not over yet. Although it doesn't look that way, it's just about to start. So we're gonna take a drive up here, the Wildlife Refuge Drive, and it's about a 12-mile loop, and see where we end up. Just a little bumpy. I imagine in the summer, well, especially in the spring, like in late May, when all of these trees start getting their leaves, and throughout the summer, I bet this is absolutely fantastic. Gorgeous and green. And then in the fall, when all these trees, their leaves turn colors. Look at this tunnel that we're going through. I bet this is absolutely spectacular in the fall. Beautiful place so far. And about to enter the Bison area. So you're not allowed to get out of your vehicle or hike or walk. Oh, look at that. There is a deer. Oh dear. So gonna take this drive again around about 10 miles worth of drive and see the bison. There are a bunch of deer in the field over there. And then hiding behind those clouds is Long's Peak, Mount Meeker, a 14er and a 13er. Way over in the distance. You see those Rocky Mountains. Right there are the Indian Peaks, snow-covered. As you work your way to the north, or as I pan to the right, you can almost see Long's Peak, but it's covered with clouds. And that way is Wyoming. Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Mr. Goose. It's like, hey, this is my road. This area is pretty great. It is March 1st and going through the Bison Wildlife Drive. And this is what you see. It is required that you stay in your car. You stay in your vehicle while you make the drive. Obviously, kind of like at Yellowstone, they don't want you to get trampled by bison or to upset the bison or the other animals that are out here. So far I've seen a lot of geese, a lot of deer. No bison yet, but I'm sure that they may or may not be out at some point. But out here it is, even though we're going up a hill right now, relatively flat. Great place to hike, to ride a bike, to have a picnic, take a long walk. Great place just to get away. And what's funny, we are in the heart of northeast Denver, surrounded by city, but looking out here, you really would not know it. And you have the mountains to the west, and right now we're heading pretty much due north. Really great place. On this drive, you see the mountains to the west, and just absolutely spectacular. And what's crazy is we are surrounded by city. This is northeast of downtown Denver. So you're not in the heart of Denver, but we are in the heart of the suburban area of northeastern Denver. And you would never know it. That's what's great about these wildlife refuge areas. And over here we have some antelope. Down there is Pikes Peak, 14,115 feet worth of mountain. As we pan over here, you can see downtown Denver. And there is Mount Evans, 14,200 and something. Can't remember the exact elevation. Ask for a more beautiful day. Right now it's 7:30 in the morning, approximately 39 degrees. It's a little chilly, but right now the sun's out. It feels really nice. So quiet and peaceful. Birds singing in the background. And you can also hear the roar of the city too. It seems so much more peaceful now. When I think about the best moments in my life, I think about those times when I feel free, when it's silent, when it's quiet, the noise of life is slowed, and more importantly, my mind is at ease, is calm. I think coming out into nature, that's definitely the best medicine. I think for everybody, but definitely I can only speak for myself. But I think for everyone, if you can just get out into a quiet, natural area, relax, listen to the birds sing, it's good medicine. This right here is called Rattlesnake Hill, and it allows you to have a nice 360-degree view of Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge, as well as surrounding Denver. And let's not forget the Rocky Mountains. Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge used to be owned by the U.S. Army, and it is, I believe, I'm looking over at the pamphlet just to get the information correct, 15,000 acres of land. It was a U.S. Army base, and on that base they manufactured weapons, including chemical weapons. This was pretty much after World War II, and then the Army basically worked with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to make this a protected wildlife habitat. So it's really cool. There's over 330 species of wildlife, including bald eagles, bison, black-footed ferrets, deer, coyotes, burrowing owls, and prairie dogs, among many others. There are over 20 miles of trails that are open year-round. for hiking and bicycles. And of course there is the Bison Drive, so you can go on a 12-mile drive and look at wildlife, but you have to stay in your car. You have to stay in your vehicle because it is a bison reserve or preserve to make sure that the bison aren't, people aren't getting out and messing with them. Kind of like you see those stories at Yellowstone National Park. People get out, look at the bison, walk up to them. Okay, anyway, this area, it's beautiful. It's really fantastic. A lot of great hiking trails. I've already done the Rattlesnake Hill Trail, and so I'm looking to do, there's over 20 miles of trails, and there's a 14-mile perimeter trail. So I gotta figure out what I'm doing next. Definitely gonna get out of the car and get some hiking in, get outside. It's now 41 degrees, kind of breezy today, a little bit windy, so that makes it cooler, but nonetheless, gorgeous. Really nice visitor center. Love that copper roof. Just gone through the visitor center, it's crazy to think about how times have changed, that this area in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, we as in the United States government were manufacturing chemical weapons and weapons of mass destruction for war efforts, and that's what was happening on this land. And now we're more concerned with conservation, taking care of our lands and our people, and our populations just seems to boom. And here's some evidence of that with the housing. What used to be open land now is a lot of people's homes. Crazy how the world changes. You
You know, as I'm reading this sign, I'm starting to feel kind of bad about wanting to go eat a bison burger now. Decisions.
Something I've always thought that's cool about Colorado is you could be in a prairie and you'll find pine trees. Now on this land, I think these trees might have been planted here just based on how evenly spread apart they are. But if you go south of Denver towards Colorado Springs, you have the Black Forest, and it's interesting because you're just out in the middle of a field and then boom, this big forest of pine trees. This right here is pretty awesome. There's something intoxicating about the smell of pine. See these pine trees. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's very brown out here during the winter and probably during the late summer too, because it'll dry up. But you have these evergreen trees, these pine trees, and they're a sight for sore eyes. When you see brown fields and dead trees, and then you see the evergreens, it puts a smile on your face. And not that the prairie and the trees with their leaves are ugly by any means, but there's just something, I don't know, about seeing something green out in nature. Puts a big smile on my face.